Hi Scotty, let's take a look at beveling. Here I've got different sized bevelers. I've got my leather, which I've already dampened, and it's come back to temperature. It's not too soggy. So anything that's going to be in the foreground, I don't bevel. I bevel the outside of that line of whatever's going to be in the foreground. So a lot of the websites tell you to move half or a quarter, but that's too far. What I've found is just the impact of the strike is what moves and makes a smooth line. So just a lot of tutorials will also say hold the tool upside down or straight straight up. Don't do that, or upside down either. What I've found is a slightly steep angle, because if you do straight up and down, you get kind of deep. If you do level to the surface, it doesn't turn out right. But if you do angled forward just a little bit and off to the side, so it'll kick better. Now, the piece I've got is small and already cut, so my leather is going to be moving for me a little bit, but that'll be okay. And I turn the leather whenever the angle changes so that I can keep tapping towards myself. So I've got a little bit of unevenness, but I can fix it by just going back. And now that's smoothed out. And let's say I just kind of guessed and I'd made some chippy kind of spots there. So now I can take my modeling spoon and smooth it out. And so now that looks much more even though my original few strikes weren't that even. I just fixed it by applying the gentle pressure, not one of the edges. I like to have my tool on the left, but that's up to you. So that means for this I'm pulling it towards me, and now I'm going to do a little of the stem. So I've got it at a little bit of an angle, and I've got it tipped up. I'm going to do a bigger one just to show you how that works out, and I'm going to turn my light on. It's kind of dark underneath my hand, so let's see if that helps. So you could, if you had a sharp edge tool and some really wet leather, you could just take your tool right into the crease and push down. Hitting the leather gives it what's called burnishing. Now I'm not sure that just using the modeling spoon alone burnishes it as much or gets as deep, but we'll let that dry and see how that turns out. Now the next step is some backgrounding, and I have a couple different backgrounders. This one is the closest to what you have, and there's a couple different techniques. So with the backgrounder, we did a technique called walking, where we just let the impact take the tool along. And if it didn't turn out perfectly, we smoothed it out. With most of our tools, like say our flower, we just want to hit it 3 to 5 times and get the exact impression in. With a backgrounder, you want to add texture, and typically people go slow and they just do a lined up hit. So just make it where you've got a simple overlay. Now another option is to walk the tool And you notice I'm giving it a lot of airtime. I'm really letting it bounce up off the leather. But you'll notice you can really see the pattern. So another option, make sure I've got this in camera range, is to walk the tool or bounce the tool while pivoting. So we can see the different effect there. I'm thinking, normally when I do work, I cut and bevel to bring the object to the foreground, and then I use the background stamp to bring it to the background. For what you're doing, I think you might use it more like this, where I would bevel out the stem of the flower, and then I would use my backgrounder to make a pattern. So I recommend you take your sample piece, your practice piece, and try it each way and see what works best for your situation and your leather and what you want to do. All right, Scotty, hope this helps. Love you. Bye-bye.